Today's guest is Johan Galeano. He's the territory sales manager at Simpson Strong-Tie. All right, Johan, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thank you, Tats. It's an honor to be your guest. So thank you very much.
Awesome. You're on currently on the sales side of the building supply side sector, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I've been doing sales in building materials industry for about 12 years now.
Yeah. And I know that, originally I think one of your big motivations was to be a part of the police. Tell me about
Yes.
that.
Yes. So since I was a very young boy, I'm originally from Colombia in South America. So I got to experience very challenging and difficult situations at a very young age. I got to see people being bullied. I got to see people being um, attacked in public, people being harassed, people being uh, getting their things stolen from them, and my family also fell victim of some of these things. So in my mind, that's since I was a very young boy, I wanted to protect the people that I felt couldn't protect themselves. So my biggest dream was to become a police officer. And when we moved to Canada, I still had that dream very at the front of my mind, and I joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I went to the RCMP Academy for 5 months out of the 6 month training. So yeah, it was a great experience. It was something that really exposed me to a lot of good things.
Yeah. And then what changed?
So while at the academy, let me tell you, it's not easy though. It's not easy. It's the training is quite challenging, and I have a lot of respect for the women that were part of the troop because their training is not any different than their for their male counterparts. The female training is not different. Like they have to do the exact same type of training that the males have to do, and the girls were very tough and they were able to pass their training. So I gain a lot of respect for that dedication. So I ended up getting injured. I was kind of like doing some training with a guy in my troop that was MMA fighter. He was a martial arts mixed martial arts fighter. Great guy. Like I know he didn't injure me on purpose. We were kind of just doing some going over some takedowns and some movements. And he said, try to send me a kick. I'm gonna grab your leg, and then I'm gonna sweep your other leg from behind you, and you're gonna fall backwards. So we tried to do the movement, and unfortunately, he ended up tripping and he fell on top of me. He's a big guy. He's 6'3", 6'4", and about 260 pounds, and he fell on top of me, and my leg bended the wrong way. And I ended up limping and having a lot of hip pain because the joint in between my hip and my leg kind of like got out of place. So I just couldn't complete the training. I tried my hardest. I kept trying to tough it up through the pain. But also at that exact same moment, my father got diagnosed with a chronic kidney disease. So my family was having a very hard time coping with that. My father couldn't work at the time. He had to be put on dialysis. So I said, you know what? Like I'm just gonna take some time to heal myself and to look after my dad because, of course, he was going through a very difficult situation, a health situation, and yeah. So I ended up leaving the academy 1 month and a few days shy from graduation, and that was tough. That was a hard pill to swallow, but hey, he led me through a new career path, and here I am.
Yeah. So how'd you find the manufacturing and ultimately the building supply side?
So I worked some sales and merchandising prior to the police academy. When I went to the police, I was fully committed to becoming a police officer. When I came back, I got in touch with a friend of mine that was working for a company that manufactures waterproofing membranes for the building envelope, as well as waterproofing membranes for outside your windows and your doors and things like that. And she said, "Hey, we're looking for a sales guy, and we're looking for someone that is dedicated, someone that is reliable, someone that is dependable, and I think you meet those qualifications. Would you be interested? And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I mean, I do need a job right now, but I really want, after I get better and my dad gets better, I want to get back into the police thing. And she said, well, just give it a try, go for the interview, and if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. And that's I believe in God, and I think God has a plan for everybody. And and his plan for me was to get me on this path, because it's been, I've been at it for a long time, and I love it. It's a very rewarding career. It's not just about making money, but about finding solutions for people and helping them out. And I love it. I'm very happy at it.
Yeah, I mean, did you have any sales type roles before?
Yes, so I originally worked for a retail company first, for 2 or 3 years, one of the biggest retailers for building materials in the industry, and then I moved from there to a company that manufactured and sold lighting, like lamps and LED lights and things like that. So I worked for those companies prior to the police academy, and then yeah, that kind of opened the door a little bit to get me back into it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what have you learned over the years on, you talked about dependability and stuff like that, but what sort of nuances have you learned, doing the role for, a bunch of years now?
So I believe that it's an ongoing learning process. Sales, or truly any profession, they are all an ongoing learning process. So yes, I got into the building materials industry based on the experience that I had prior to the police, but that I also started, going to school for project management, for supply chain management, for logistics, for what was the other thing that I did? Occupational health and safety. So I'm always eager to learn more and more and more and more. And with the companies that first company were the waterproofing membranes, I didn't know much about those kind of products, but I'm a very curious person. So I started learning a lot about the product, asking people around in the industry for the company, what do they do, what kind of reputation do they have, was the product used, what was the proper application for it. So that has helped me to be where I am right now. And even then, even though I have had a very successful career, I learn things every day. I've been very fortunate to have good mentors, good managers that guide me whenever they see my potential, and they're like, hey, we can maybe tune down your or try to focus is the right word, try to focus onto these specific paths and these specific ways to increase your sales, to get you to be a better, more rounded professional. And that's has helped me a lot. So I think an open mind is something that I learned, and the fact that it's a continuous learning process.
Yeah, open mind. So having an open mind means trying things. Sometimes things work, sometimes things don't work. What are some things that I wouldn't call it a failure, but that you realized it didn't work?
So things, let's first start with the things that work. Things that work are putting your ego aside. Often when we are the industry professionals, or the experts, I guess is the word, we think that we know everything. So we feel that hey, I'm gonna be the expert, and if they ask me a question, I'm gonna have the answers. So putting your ego aside is what works. What doesn't work is trying to come up with answers that you don't know the right answer. So that very early in my career, I learned that, and I learned to say that if I don't know the answer, I can say, hey, I'm sorry, I don't know that specific answer right now. However, will you give me some time to be able to find the proper answer for you, or to be able to find the people that can provide you with those proper answers? So that's what worked and hasn't worked. Putting the ego aside and being humble enough to say, hey, I don't know that answer, even though I'm the expert in this field. There are things that I'm still learning about, so I don't know the answer. However, I can put you in contact with the proper people that will guide you through the right answer, or I can find that right answer for you.
It sounds like you have advisors or people that know different things within the company that you work for, and then it sounds like outside as well. Do you cultivate that?
Yes, very much so. In the company that I work for currently, a lot of people, or most of the people in the company, have a long tenure. It's a great company to work for. The products are very high quality, and the people that work for the company make a basically a long life commitment to develop a career not only for them but for the people around them. So I've been very fortunate to learn from people that have been in the industry and in the company for 15, 20 years. So that has helped me to absorb a lot of good information from their experience and from their knowledge. And yes, from outside the industry, I also my well in within the industry too, but outside the company, my clients, it's important to listen. That it's important to listen rather than being reactive and trying to answer every time. It's important to listen to what people are trying to tell you, because that's how you identify their needs, and then you're able to provide a proper solution. But outside the industry, I also have mentors and people that guide me in life about life decisions, spirituality, finances, and how to properly manage my finances. That's not an easy one, because I'm a guy that I'm very giving, and I like to buy nice things for the people that are around me. And so I had to learn to manage my finances and my spending a little bit. But yes, I've been very fortunate that in life I've been able to meet people that truly care for me and that truly want to make me a better person.
Yeah, I mean, within your role or the industry that sort of you sort of interact with, what are some trends or things that are happening that are, very interesting to you or you're following very closely?
Right now, currently, something that we are very observant about is the whole tariffs situation between the United States and Canada, because although a lot of our product is manufactured in Canada, we still outsource certain materials from other places. So that's something that we're very observant about, to see how we can adapt and develop new strategies. Also, as you know, the market is not consistent every time. The market will go up, will go down, will go up, will go down. So you need to be very creative, is the word that I was looking for. Very creative, to make sure that you evolve and adapt yourself to new applications for your product, new industries that maybe
Mhm.
our product is based for the building materials, but what about if it can be used in the agricultural aspect of it? Or what if it can be used in mechanics, or the automotive industry? So learning those things and being able to evolve and adapt is something that has helped me quite a bit.
Just because, some based on some regulatory things, some industry might just pause for a bit, and you don't want to be looking in just one area just in case, it really sort of affects you in one area.
Yes, yes. You don't want to put, like they say, you don't want to put all your eggs in the same basket. You want to be able to diversify a little bit. So you're right. When one industry is a little bit slower, you can kind of move around in other places to try and make up for those sales that are not happening in your core industry.
Yeah, I mean, how much of that sort of, let's say, call it a portfolio approach do you take? Like when times are good, do you just focus on your core market, or do you always have like a certain percentage when you're exploring? Because sometimes, like when something happens and you try to change at that moment, you may not have any momentum if you haven't done any pre-work. Do you do any pre-work all the time that you're always kind of prepared if anything happens?
It's been a learning process, and to be honest, that I'm going through that right now, where my current manager has been extremely helpful and supportive, to where he kind of provides me with a lot of data that I might not have first-hand access to. So he's able to pull out reports from engineering, or reports for how the Canadian housing market is performing, or certain reports that show where sales in some areas might be increasing as in other areas might be decreasing. So he provides me with all of this to give me a wider view of what's going on. So I'm not only focused on the immediate picture that is in front of my face, but I can see a bigger picture, because he's got like that bird eyes view from above. So he can kind of provide me those to allow me to be more flexible. And then, yes, throughout the year, I used to be a little bit early in my career. I used to be a little bit more reactive, that if something was happening, I'm like, okay, what's going to be plan B, plan C, plan D? Right now, with the help of this manager, since very early in the year, every year, we kind of lay out the foundation in a plan to say, hey, we're gonna focus maybe 60% of our energy and attention to plan A, but let's the other 40%, let's divide it in B, C, D, and E, so we can kind of have those going along the side as a parallel line. In case the plan A starts to shift a little bit throughout the year, we can still have these ones as a backup and be able to farm them a little bit and grow them as they go.
Yeah, I kind of liked how you're doing rough percentages because that's a good way. Like you don't want to lose focus, but at the same time, if you're not exploring new things, then you can't pivot.
Correct.
Ah, that makes sense. With these databases, are these internal things, things that you subscribe to, a combination of different things? Just give me a general feel of roughly what they are.
Yes, so it is a combination of both. A lot of the reports come from our CRM tool that we use internally. A lot of the reports also come from gathering data from our engineers when they kind of get together and analyze which projects are being submitted to us, but also from external sources like the I can't remember the exact name of the page that my manager frequents, but it's where it shows basically how all the Canadian market, the housing market across Canada, is performing on each individual province. So he gets data from that. He gets data regarding the house starts throughout the year, first quarter of the year, second quarter, and so forth and so on. So yes, he does a mixture of both, and then he emails me whatever he was able to gather on Monday mornings, which has been I've been able to kind of gather that information, and then from there design an action plan. But also, I don't fully just rely on him because yes, I mean it'd be nice if he's just giving me that every time. But I do know that he's got other tasks that he's got to do. So I am also utilizing internal reports that we get from our system that basically or our weekly call reports, our sales reports, basically our PO system that shows us basically what orders we got through the week and that it compares previous year to date versus current year to date. So I also gather those and I'm able to get an action plan based on that.
Yeah, very cool. Describe to me what your typical week looks like, just generally how it flows in terms of what I'm always curious how people manage their time. Are you in the office a lot? You're outside? How do you, what does your sales week look like?
So if I had to basically break it down, I think I believe I spend about 70% of my time on the road, trying to see clients face to face, determining what's happening with their business, what are new needs that they might have, what are some challenges that they might be encountering. So about 70% of my time is that. I would say about 15% of the time is spent on office work, like doing reports, designing new planograms, coming up with new ideas of how to optimize the current planograms that our clients have. Because those, if you leave those planograms to be stagnant, they are not going to grow. But if you evaluate those frequently and you say, okay, we introduce new products or what products that are currently in your set are not working out for you, so we can remove them and maybe generate more space for products that are working out. So I think I do about 15% of my time on that. And I believe I do about another 15% or so roughly developing new potential ideas for what new clients I can pursue, what are new ideas that I can maybe go after, what are some things that I maybe had put on pause or standby in the past that I can kind of like start reworking them again to bring them to a full cycle. But at least 70% of my time is out on the road, a lot of windshield time. Yeah, a lot of driving time.
Yeah. So windshield time, what do you do to keep productive during that time?
Prior to having our CRM system on our phones, I used to grab a map and kind of go through my accounts and say, okay, if I'm going to be in the east side of my city this week, I'm going to focus on targets that are in that specific space. I learned that from my manager because he said we don't really want to be doing star patterns where you're going to the west, then
Oh,
to the south, then to the east, then like you want to make sure that you have a grouping of accounts so you're optimizing your time because your time is very valuable. now that we have our CRM and on other tools that we use on online maps, then I upload an Excel sheet of my accounts with their addresses, and then it kind of gives me little pop-ups of the maps areas of where my accounts are located. That when I can optimize my route every week and make sure that I'm not losing time driving around from A to B and then turning back to an area that was closer to A. So I make sure that I do groupings that are close to each other.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Google has that feature where you can put all the stops in, right? So,
Yes.
oh, very cool. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I'm always curious about is you've done sales long enough to know this, but you know, companies are always looking for sales talent, you know. How do you spot them? How do you test for them? Like, how do you know if someone has potential? Like, what process do you go through to, identify people that might be good to join your organization or whatnot in terms of sales talent?
Yes. So great question. I think as the years go by, sales and many other industries or many other professions evolve. And if you don't evolve, you tend to disappear. So with sales right now, we have a lot of tools that are accessible, whether it is your phone, your CRM, your the AI. A lot of people. I posted an article this morning on my LinkedIn page. Basically, a lot of people are afraid of AI, or they are very defensive when it comes to adopting those kind of new technologies. And I'm saying, if you want to be relevant and you want to be a good salesperson right now, you need to find a balance where you utilize all those tools to your advantage. Don't see them as the enemy, don't see them as your competitor. So I think that finding a good candidate in sales right now is someone that is very curious about those new technologies and is able to learn from them and adapt them to their regular action plan. So that's number one. Number two, I believe that personality goes a long way. I am a charismatic guy. I'm friendly. I truly care for people. So when I'm talking to a client, I don't see a dollar sign. I see a person in front of me, and I see how can I make his business better, and how can I be of service to ensure that he's finding value dealing with me. So I think that a person that does that is great. Yes, technical information or technical knowledge is also very helpful, but I do believe that those are things that you can kind of learn on your own, or maybe learn as you go a little bit, but be committed to the learning process, of course. But if you're just a person that is very data driven and just very technical about process, but you're not very personable, I do believe they might be successful to an extent in sales, but I do believe they might find it challenging at a certain point, because that human interaction where you truly care about someone, you shake their hand, you ask them how their day is going, how their business is going. I think that kind of person is a good person for a sales career.
Wonderful. Great. You told me a lot about, what you did before, what you're doing now, some advice. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you want to share?
I just want to say that as the time goes by and you learn new things, you might develop new passions. So I am very passionate about sales. I really enjoy my sales career. As I mentioned earlier, I've been very fortunate to work with amazing people throughout all the companies that I work for. I've had great mentors. But that's, I think, in the future, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years or so, I would like to take a different role, hopefully within the company that I'm working for, as a trainer, as a, you can always be a mentor. You don't have to wait to be a manager or to be in a position of leadership in order to be a mentor. You can always do that if you have the qualifications and the capacity to teach and guide someone. But I would like to be an actual trainer. We have a position called a training manager in within this company that I work for, and you basically focus on developing programs that allow your salespeople to become the best salespeople they can be. You guide them, you train them, you motivate them, you ensure that they have the proper tools to become professionals. So I think that in my next 5 or 10 years or so, that's where my heart is taking me.
All right, perfect. Well, Johan, thank you for, taking the time.
No, no, my pleasure. Thank you again because what you do really gives people a better idea of what the industry and what these careers are about. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very honored that you selected me for this. So thank you.